The parable of the 10 lepers is found only in the Gospel of Luke. In it, we are told that as Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem, 10 lepers meet him. At the time of Jesus, leprosy was named by any skin disease. It was not merely leprosy as we know it today, Hansen's disease, but any external skin ailment was regarded as leprosy, and the person was considered leprous. In the Old Testament, in both Deuteronomy and Leviticus, instructions were given about how lepers ought to live, and they lived a very miserable life. They couldn't enter the village or town, and even on the rare occasion that they did to beg for food, they would have to cry, "Unclean, unclean," as they entered, so that those who heard them would not even let their shadow fall on them. Lepers, therefore, lived a very, very miserable life. They were often lonely, but this particular group had to bond together because no one else would bond with them. And we are told that there are 10 who come to Jesus for a healing. And they stand far off so that they will not even let their shadow fall on Jesus, because they did not want to contaminate him, not realizing that Jesus could not be contaminated. Jesus hears their plea and responds with mercy, with love. He heals them and asks them to go and follow the law, which was they had to go and show themselves to the priest, who would then declare if they were rid of that skin ailment, which was termed as leprosy. The lepers believed Jesus because they were healed after they began to go to the priest, not before they began to go to the priest. In other words, they show that they hear the words of Jesus and they understand those words and they act on those words. Because they acted on those words, because they had faith, they were healed even as they were going to the priest to show themselves and get the confirmation that they could be restored back to society. They could be given the same privileges which they had before they became lepers and outcasts. But even as they go, one realizes that he has been healed. And instead of going to the priest and getting that certificate of confirmation, he comes back to give thanks to Jesus. 1 out of 10. And Jesus looks at the man and is not expecting anyone to come back to him, because he doesn't expect a thanks in return. Rather, the point that Jesus makes is this: not that one came back to give him thanks out of the 10, but that the one who came was a Samaritan. And in his exclamation, Jesus exclaims, "Did not I heal 10? Then how come only this foreigner, only this Samaritan has come to give back thanks?" It is very likely that the other 9 were not Samaritans. It is very likely that they regarded this man, a Samaritan, as an outcast because he was a Samaritan, and because of their prejudice against Samaritans, whom they regarded as lower than they. They had bonded together only because they were all lepers. Now that the leprosy has been cured, they will go their separate way and leave the Samaritan to go his separate way. The point, therefore, is not so much about gratitude, which it is only on the surface level, but it is about our prejudices that we have about those whom we consider less than us, those we consider inferior to us, those we demean. In the world today, we must realize that the first thing that we are is humans. It doesn't matter which country we come from. It doesn't matter which town or city or state we come from. It doesn't matter what language we speak. It doesn't matter what clothes we wear. What matters is that we are humans, all moving along with the environment towards this one magnificent God. If we realize this, then we remove those stereotypical eyes. Then we remove those prejudiced eyes and look at everyone as a brother or a sister. A rabbi was once asked, "Rabbi, when does night end and day begin?" And the rabbi answered, "Night ends and day begins when I look at everyone as my brother or sister." Let us hope that that day will be today.